Dire warning. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of the Ice Horizon, Earth's most advanced exploration vessel. The vast expanse of space stretched before her, dotted with unfamiliar stars. After years of preparation, humanity had finally ventured beyond their solar system. But their first deep space mission was about to take an unexpected turn. "Captain, we're picking up an unusual signal," reported Communications Officer Raj Patel, his fingers flying over his console. "It's not matching any known patterns." Sarah's heart raced. "First contact. Put it through, Mr. Patel." A series of rapid chirps and clicks filled the bridge. The crew exchanged puzzled glances. "Run it through the universal translator," Sarah ordered. Moments later, a robotic voice emerged. "WRNG, DNGR, FAE, TGDVURSCONE." Sarah's blood ran cold. "Can you trace the signal's origin?" "Negative, Captain," Raj replied. "It seems to be coming from multiple sources, bouncing between relay points." Science Officer Dr. Emma Reeves spoke up, her voice tinged with excitement and fear. "Captain, if I may, this could be a message from an advanced alien civilization. The fact that it's in a form our translator can decode suggests they've been observing us." Sarah nodded grimly. "And warning us about something called the Diverse. We need more information." She turned to her first officer, Commander John Takeda. "John, prepare a response. Let them know we've received their message and request clarification." As John crafted the message, Sarah's mind raced. Humanity had long debated whether they were alone in the universe. Now they had an answer, but it came with a chilling warning. Hours passed with no response. The crew grew restless, theories flying. Then suddenly, their sensors lit up. "Multiple objects entering the system," cried Tactical Officer Zookafar. "They're massive, unlike anything we've ever seen." Sarah watched in awe as the objects appeared on the main view screen. Sleek, dark shapes that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. They moved with unnatural speed and precision. "Are they the Devourers?" John whispered. Before anyone could respond, a new transmission cut through their communications. This time, the voice was deep, guttural, and filled with malice. "Humans, your existence has been noted. Your resources will be consumed. Resistance is futile. We are the Devourers." Sarah's jaw clenched. This was beyond anything they'd prepared for. But she'd be damned if she'd let these Devourers threaten her home without a fight. "Red alert," she commanded. "Mr. Patel, send an emergency transmission to Earth. Warn them. Tell them everything." As klaxons blared and the crew sprang into action, Sarah knew they were outmatched, but perhaps they could buy Earth some time. "Ms. Okafor, arm all weapons. Dr. Reeves, I need options. Any weaknesses, any advantages we might have." Emma's fingers flew over her console. "Captain, their technology is far beyond ours. But there's something odd about their energy signatures. If we could get closer." Sarah nodded. "Mr. Takeda, plot an intercept course. We're going in." The Ice Horizon surged forward, a tiny David against an army of Goliaths. As they approached, the enormity of the Devour ships became clear. Each one dwarfed the largest space station humanity had ever built. "Energy spike," so shouted. "They're charging weapons." "Evasive maneuvers," Sarah ordered. The ship banked hard, narrowly avoiding a searing beam of energy that lit up space around them. Emma's eyes widened. "Captain, that weapon, it's unlike anything in our databases. But the energy signature, it's similar to our quantum fluctuation drive." Sarah's mind raced. "Can we use that? Disrupt their weapons somehow?" Emma nodded excitedly. "If we can get close enough to one of their ships, we might be able to create a feedback loop in their energy systems. It's risky, but it's our only shot," Sarah finished. She took a deep breath. "All right, people, we've got one chance to show these Devourers that humanity isn't an easy meal. Let's make it count." As the Ice Horizon dove towards the nearest Devourer ship, Sarah silently prayed, not just for our crew, but for all of humanity. They were about to face their greatest challenge yet. The battle for Earth's survival had begun. Defiance against the odds. The ice horizon streaked through space, a silver bullet against the vast darkness. Captain Sarah Chen gripped her command chair as the ship shuddered under enemy fire. Shields at 60% and dropping. Tactical Officer Zawokafer reported, her voice steady despite the chaos. Sarah's eyes narrowed. Keep us on course. Dr. Reeves, status on that feedback loop. Emma Reeves hunched over her console, fingers flying. Almost there, Captain, but we need to get closer. Much closer. Sarah nodded grimly. You heard her, Mr. Takeda. Take us in. The horizon dove towards the massive Devourer ship, weaving through a barrage of energy beams. Each near miss lit up the bridge in eerie, pulsating colors. Incoming transmission, Communications Officer Raj Patel called out. It's Earth. Sarah's heart leaped. On screen, the face of Admiral Yuki Tanaka appeared, lined with worry. Captain Chen, we've received your warning. The UN Security Council is in emergency session. What's your status? Sarah quickly summarized their desperate plan. The Admiral's eyes widened. It's risky, but it might be our only chance. Godspeed, Captain. Earth is mobilizing every resource we have. As the transmission ended, First Officer John Takeda spoke up. Captain, we're within range of the Devourer ship, but their point defense systems are tearing us apart. Sarah took a deep breath. This was it. Divert all power to shields and the quantum drive. We're going to ram them. A hush fell over the bridge. Then, one by one, the crew nodded. They all knew the stakes. It's been an honor serving with you all, Sarah said softly, then louder. Brace for impact. The horizon surged forward, shields flaring as it pushed through the Devourer's defenses. With a thunderous crash, they collided with the alien vessel. Alarms blared. Sparks flew from consoles. But Emma's voice cut through the chaos. Initiating feedback loop. Now. A pulse of energy rippled from the horizon, interfacing with the Devourer ship's systems. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, suddenly, the massive alien vessel began to convulse. It's working, Emma cried. Their energy systems are overloading. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Get us out of here, Mr. Tekka. Best speed. As the horizon limped away, the Devourer ship exploded in a spectacular burst of light and debris. Cheers erupted on the bridge. But their celebration was short-lived. Captain Zoe called out, the other Devourer ships are changing formation. They're retreating. Sarah frowned. It couldn't be that easy. Keep monitoring them, and get me Earth. Admiral Tanaka's face appeared once more, this time beaming. Exceptional work, Captain Chen. Your actions have bought us precious time, but I'm afraid the fight is far from over. The Admiral explained that observatories around the world had detected more Devourer ships approaching from deep space. Hundreds of them. We need a more permanent solution, Sarah mused. Dr. Reeves, could we adapt our feedback technique into a large-scale weapon? Emma bit her lip. Possibly, but we'd need incredible amounts of power. More than Earth could generate. John Takeda suddenly straightened. What about the sun? Could we use it to amplify the effect? A spark of excitement lit up Emma's eyes. A solar-powered quantum disruptor. It's theoretically possible, but we'd need to build a massive array in orbit around the sun. It would take time, resources. Time we don't have, Sarah finished. She turned to the view screen. Admiral, we need to mobilize every nation, every resource. This is going to take a global effort unlike anything in human history. Admiral Tanaka nodded solemnly. Consider it done, Captain. I'm promoting you to Admiral effective immediately. You'll oversee this project personally. Sarah's mind reeled, but she pushed aside her shock. There was work to be done. Thank you, Admiral. We'll set course for Earth immediately to begin preparations. As the horizon turned homeward, Sarah gazed out at the stars. Humanity faced its greatest challenge, but she felt a glimmer of hope. They had proven they could hurt the Devers. Now they just needed to scale up their success before the full invasion arrived. The race against time had begun, but Sarah knew one thing for certain: humanity would not go down without a fight. Project Helios. The gleaming spires of the United Nations headquarters in New York City stood in stark contrast to the frantic activity within. Newly promoted Admiral Sarah Chen strode purposefully through the corridors, her mind racing with calculations and possibilities. It had been 3 months since the Horizon's encounter with the Devers. 3 months of feverish preparation, of nations setting aside old rivalries to face a common threat. Now it was time to present their plan to the world's leaders. Sarah entered the General Assembly Hall, packed with representatives from every nation on Earth. The tension in the air was palpable. She took her place at the podium, surveying the anxious faces before her. "Distinguished leaders," she began, her voice steady, "I stand before you today to present humanity's best hope for survival, Project Helios." With a gesture, she activated the holographic display. A massive, intricate structure appeared, orbiting the sun. "This is the Solar Quantum Disruptor Array," Sarah explained. "Designed by our best scientists and engineers, it will harness the power of our sun to create a weapon capable of neutralizing the Devar fleet." Murmurs rippled through the assembly. Sarah continued, outlining the monumental task ahead. The array would require resources from every corner of the globe, technological innovations beyond anything they'd achieved before, and cooperation on an unprecedented scale. As she spoke, Sarah could see the doubt in some eyes replaced by determination. This was humanity's moonshot moment, their Manhattan Project. The stakes couldn't be higher. "We have 8 months before the main Devar fleet arrives," Sarah concluded. "It won't be easy. It will require sacrifices from everyone, but I believe in human ingenuity, in our ability to achieve the impossible when our backs are against the wall. Together, we can, and we must, prevail." The assembly erupted in applause and shouts of approval. As Sarah stepped down, she felt a hand on her shoulder. It was Dr. Emma Reeves, now chief scientist of Project Helios. "Inspiring speech, Admiral," Emma said with a smile. "But now comes the hard part." Sarah nodded grimly. "Indeed. Let's get to work." The next months were a whirlwind of activity. Factories around the world retooled to produce components for the array. Space agencies coordinated launches to ferry materials and workers to the construction site near Mercury's orbit. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. Sarah found herself constantly moving between Earth and space, overseeing the project's progress. During one of her visits to the construction site, she floated in zero gravity beside her old friend and first officer, now Captain John Takeda. "It's incredible," John marveled, gazing at the partially completed array. "A year ago, this would have been science fiction." Sarah nodded, a mix of pride and anxiety churning in her stomach. "We've come so far, but we still have so far to go." Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent call from Emma. "Admiral, Captain, we have a problem. The superconductors for the main emitter aren't performing as expected in solar proximity. We need to redesign them, but that could set us back weeks." Sarah's heart sank. They didn't have weeks to spare. But before she could respond, a new voice chimed in. It was Zoe Okafor, now head of the array's defense systems. "What if we use a magnetic bottle to shield the superconductors?" Zoe suggested. "We could repurpose some of the defense field generators." Emma's eyes widened. That could work. "So, you're a genius." Sarah smiled. This was human ingenuity at its finest. "Make it happen," she ordered. "And spread the word. I want everyone thinking creatively, looking for solutions like this. We can't afford to let any problems slow us down." As the weeks passed, more challenges arose. Solar flares threatened to disrupt construction. Micrometeors damaged critical components. Political tensions on Earth threatened to unravel the global alliance. But each time, humanity rose to the occasion. Nations shared breakthrough technologies. Astronauts performed daring repair missions. Diplomats worked tirelessly to keep the alliance strong. Finally, 7.5 months after the project began, Sarah stood in the control room of the completed solar quantum disruptor array. The massive structure stretched out before her, a testament to human determination and cooperation. Final systems check complete, Emma reported. The array is fully operational. Sarah nodded, a lump in her throat. Now we wait. They didn't have to wait long. Within hours, long-range sensors detected the Devourer fleet entering the solar system. Thousands of ships, far more than their worst estimates. Sarah took a deep breath, keenly aware that the fate of humanity rested on her next words. This is Admiral Chen to all Earth forces. The Devourers have arrived. Project Helios is our best hope, but we need to buy it time to power up. All ships, engage the enemy. Keep them away from the array at all costs. As humanity's defenders surged forward to meet the Devourers, Sarah turned to her team. Initiate startup sequence. Let's show these Devourers what humans are really capable of. The battle for Earth's survival had reached its climax. In the next few hours, the fate of an entire species would be decided. The battle for Earth. The vastness of space erupted into chaos as humanity's fleet engaged the Devourers. Admiral Sarah Chen watched from the command center of the solar quantum disruptor array, her heart pounding as explosions lit up the void. Array power at 60% and climbing. Dr. Emma Reeves reported, her voice tense. We need another 15 minutes to reach full capacity. Sarah nodded grimly. Let's hope our fleet can buy us that time. On the main view screen, Earth's ships darted between the massive Devourer vessels. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but they fought with desperate courage. Captain John Take's voice crackled over the comms. Admiral, we're holding them back, but we're taking heavy losses. We can't keep this up for long. Sarah's mind raced. They needed a distraction, something to keep the Devourers occupied. Suddenly, an idea struck her. Zoe, she called to her former tactical officer, now head of array defenses. Can we emit a low-power pulse from the array? Something to get their attention without depleting our main charge. Zoe's fingers flew over her console. Yes, Admiral, but it might draw them right to us. Do it, Sarah ordered, and patch me into the fleet-wide channel. As Zoe worked, Sarah addressed the defending forces. All ships, this is Admiral Chen. We're about to emit a pulse that should attract the Devourers' attention. Use that moment to regroup and counterattack. Hit them hard. Hit them fast. A chorus of acknowledgements came through. Sarah took a deep breath. Now Zoe. A ripple of energy pulsed from the array. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, as one, the Devourer ships turned towards them. It worked, Emma whispered. They're coming right for us. Sarah watched as the massive alien fleet approached. Defensive systems to maximum. How long until full power? 10 minutes, Emma replied. Sarah gritted her teeth. It was going to be close. The next few minutes were a blur of frantic activity. The array's shields flared under constant bombardment. Earth's ships, regrouped and reorganized, launched a fierce counterattack, drawing some of the pressure away. Array at 90%, Emma called out. But our shields are failing. Sarah watched in horror as cracks began to appear in the array's outer structure. They were so close, but it looked like they might fall at the final hurdle. Then, a new voice cut through the chaos. This is General Yuki Tanaka of the Earth Defense Force. We're moving into position to shield the array. Hold on, Admiral. Sarah's eyes widened as she saw a swarm of ships position themselves between the array and the Devourers, taking the brunt of the attack. 5 minutes to full power, Emma reported. Sarah nodded, her voice thick with emotion. Broadcast on all frequencies, including the Devourers. They need to hear this. She took a deep breath, then spoke. Attention, Devourer fleet. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of Earth. For too long, you've terrorized the galaxy, consuming worlds at will. But today, that ends. Humanity stands united, not just for ourselves, but for all the races you've threatened or destroyed. We are not your prey. We are not your victims. We are the line in the sand, the voice that says no more. And if we fall today, we fall fighting, with the hope that our stand inspires others to resist. But make no mistake, we don't intend to fall. We intend to win. As she finished, Emma's voice rang out, a ray at full power. Sarah's eyes blazed with determination. Fire! A blinding beam of energy erupted from the array, engulfing the Devourer fleet. Ship after ship began to convulse and shut down, their systems overloaded by the quantum disruption. Cheers erupted in the command center as they watched the seemingly invincible armada reduced to drifting hulks. But Sarah's relief was short-lived. A massive energy spike appeared on their sensors, emanating from the center of the Devourer fleet. "What is that?" she demanded. Emma's face paled. It's some kind of superweapon. They're concentrating all their remaining power into one shot. If it hits us, Sarah understood. The array, Earth, everything would be destroyed. They had come so far, sacrificed so much. She refused to let it end like this. "Can we fire again?" she asked. Emma shook her head. "The array's drained. It'll take hours to recharge." Sarah closed her eyes, thinking furiously. Then it hit her. The feedback loop, the one we used on our first encounter. Could we use the array to amplify it? Emma's eyes widened. Yes, but someone would need to deliver it directly to their weapon. It would be a one-way trip. Sarah nodded, a calm settling over her. "Prepare the feedback device. I'll deliver it myself." As her crew protested, Sarah held up a hand. "This isn't up for debate. Humanity has shown its best today. Now it's my turn to do the same." As she prepared to leave, Sarah took one last look at Earth, shining blue and green in the distance. Whatever happened next, she knew humanity would face it with the same courage and ingenuity they'd shown today. The final confrontation was at hand, and Sarah was ready to make her stand. The ultimate sacrifice. Admiral Sarah Chen's decision hung in the air, heavy with finality. The command center of the solar quantum disruptor array fell silent, the weight of her words sinking in. "Admiral," Captain John Taketa's voice cracked over the comms. "Let me do this. You're needed here." Sarah shook her head, even though John couldn't see her. "Negative, Captain. I need you to lead what's left of our fleet. Protect Earth at all costs." She turned to her team, seeing a mix of admiration and sorrow in their eyes. "Dr. Reeves, is the feedback device ready?" Emma nodded, her eyes glistening. "Yes, Admiral. I've modified it to interface with your suit. Once you're in range, just activate it. The array will do the rest." Sarah took the small device, attaching it to her spacesuit. She looked at each member of her team, committing their faces to memory. "It's been an honor serving with all of you. Remember, no matter what happens next, humanity has already proven its worth today. We faced the impossible, and we didn't blink." With a final nod, Sarah stepped into the airlock. As the outer doors opened, she took a deep breath, gazing at the chaotic battlefield before her. The massive Devourer superweapon loomed in the distance, a swirling vortex of dark energy growing at its center. Activating suit thrusters, Sarah reported, "I'm on my way." She launched herself into space, her small form dwarfed by the enormity of the conflict around her. Debris from destroyed ships, both human and Devourer, floated past, each piece a testament to the brutal battle that had been waged. As Sarah approached the Devourer weapon, she could feel its power even through her suit. The fabric of space itself seemed to warp around it. "Admiral," Zoe's voice came through her comms. "We're detecting a massive energy buildup. They're about to fire." Sarah gritted her teeth, pushing her thrusters to the limit. "How long?" 2 minutes, maybe less," Zoe replied, her voice tense. Sarah's mind raced. She wasn't going to make it in time. Not like this. Then an idea struck her. "Captain Takeda," she called out. "I need a boost. Can you get a ship to my coordinates?" There was a moment of silence, then John's voice, understanding dawning. On it, Admiral. Brace yourself. Seconds later, a sleek Earth fighter appeared beside her. Its pilot, skilled beyond measure, matched Sarah's velocity perfectly. She grabbed onto a protruding antenna, and the ship's engines flared to life. The sudden acceleration pressed Sarah against the hull. Stars blurred around her as they hurtled towards the Devourer weapon. 30 seconds to firing, so reported. The fighter brought Sarah as close as it dared, then peeled away. She activated her suit thrusters one last time, aiming straight for the heart of the alien's superweapon. 20 seconds. Sarah could see the intricate patterns on the weapon's surface now, pulsing with otherworldly energy. She relayed the feedback device. 10 seconds. She was almost there. Just a little closer. 5 seconds. Sarah Chen, Admiral of Earth's fleet, protector of humanity, closed her eyes. She thought of her home, of the billions of lives depending on her, of the future she was fighting for. Now, Admiral, Emma's voice cried out. Sarah activated the device. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a pulse of energy erupted from her suit, amplified 1,000-fold by the distant array. It collided with the Devourer weapon just as it was about to fire. The resulting explosion was beyond anything humanity had ever witnessed. A blinding flash lit up the solar system, outshining the sun itself for a brief moment. In the array's command center, Emma, and the others watched in awe and grief as the light faded, revealing nothing. The Devourer's superweapon was gone, and with it Admiral Sarah Chen. Silence fell across the comms. Then, gradually, reports started coming in. The remaining Devourer ships, their weapon destroyed and their fleet in tatters, were retreating. Earth had won. Captain Takita's voice, thick with emotion, addressed the fleet. Admiral Chen gave her life to save us all. To save Earth. Let's make sure her sacrifice wasn't in vain. All ships, pursue the Devourers. We end this today. As Earth's fleet moved to chase down the retreating aliens, a new sense of purpose filled every human heart. They had faced extinction and emerged victorious. Admiral Chen's courage had shown them what humanity was capable of. In the array's command center, Dr. Emma Reeves wiped tears from her eyes and turned to her team. The Devourers will be back one day. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not for years. But they'll come, and when they do, we'll be ready. She looked out at the stars, a determined glint in her eye. Admiral Chen gave us a future. Now it's up to us to build it. Project Helios was just the beginning. Let's show the galaxy what humanity can really do. As the remnants of the Devourer fleet disappeared into the depths of space, a new chapter in human history began. One of exploration, of advancement, of reaching for the stars, not in fear, but in hope. The legacy of Sarah Chen, and all those who fought beside her, would light the way forward. Humanity had taken its place among the stars, and they were here to stay. A new dawn. 5 years had passed since the Battle of Earth. The planet, once on the brink of annihilation, now bustled with renewed purpose and energy. The skyline of every major city had changed, dominated by towering space elevators reaching into the heavens. Dr. Emma Reeves stood at the window of her office in the newly constructed Interstellar Defense Headquarters, gazing at the massive shipyards in Earth's orbit. Vessels of all sizes were under construction, from nimble fighters to city-sized colony ships. A gentle chime interrupted her thoughts. Dr. Reeves, her AI assistant, announced, "The council is ready for you." Emma nodded, straightening her uniform. "Thank you, RIA. Let's not keep them waiting." She made her way to the conference room where holographic projections of leaders from Earth and its newly established colonies waited. At the center of the table stood a hologram of the entire solar system, now dotted with human outposts and defensive installations. "Welcome, everyone," Emma began. "Today marks the 5th anniversary of our victory against the Devourers. We've come a long way since then, but our work is far from over." She waved her hand, and the hologram zoomed out, showing the Milky Way galaxy. "Our long-range sensors have detected Devourer activity in distant sectors. They're regrouping, possibly planning their next move. But this time, we won't be caught off guard. Captain John Takeda, now Admiral of Earth's growing fleet, spoke up. The new quantum drive ships are performing beyond expectations. We can now reach nearby star systems in days instead of years. Emma nodded. Excellent. And the colonization efforts? A representative from Mars Colony, its first governor, chimed in. We're ahead of schedule. Mars is nearly self-sufficient, and the terraforming process has begun. The Jupiter and Saturn outposts are also thriving. Good, Emma said. We need to spread out, establish a presence beyond our solar system. It's the best way to ensure our survival. The meeting continued, discussing advancements in technology, diplomatic efforts with newly discovered alien races, and strategies for future encounters with the diverse. As the session wound down, Emma felt a familiar pang of sadness. Before we conclude, I'd like us all to take a moment to remember those who aren't here to see this. Admiral Sarah Chen and all those who gave their lives to secure our future. A solemn silence fell over the room. Then the governor of Mars spoke softly. We haven't forgotten. The Chen Memorial on Olympus Mons stands as a testament to their sacrifice. Emma smiled. Indeed. And the best way to honor their memory is to keep pushing forward. Humanity has taken its first steps into the galactic community. Now we need to ensure we're here to stay. After the meeting, Emma made her way to a special chamber deep within the headquarters. Here, protected by the most advanced security systems Earth could devise, sat the heart of humanity's defense network, an AI core built from recovered Devaur technology. Hello, HFY, Emma said as she entered. The AI's avatar, a swirling galaxy of lights, appeared before her. Greetings, Dr. Reeves. How may I assist you today? Emma took a deep breath. Run the latest simulations. I want to know our chances if the Devourers return in force. HFY's lights pulsed as it processed the request. Simulation complete. Based on current technological growth and expansion rates, humanity's chances of survival against a full-scale Devour invasion in the next decade stand at 68.3%. Emma nodded, a mix of relief and determination washing over her. It wasn't a certainty, but it was far better than their odds 5 years ago. Thank you, HFY. Let's work on improving those numbers. As she left the chamber, Emma's mind was already racing with new ideas. The quantum communication network needed expanding. The Descent swarm around the sun could use an upgrade. And there were those promising experiments with pocket dimensions. Humanity had come so far in such a short time, driven by the need to survive, to thrive in a universe they now knew was filled with both wonders and terrors. They had faced their greatest challenge and emerged stronger, more united than ever before. As Emma looked out at the bustling activity of Earth and the space around it, she felt a surge of pride and hope. Whatever the future held, whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity was ready. The legacy of Sarah Chen and countless others who had sacrificed everything had laid the foundation. Now it was up to Emma and the new generation to build upon it, to ensure that humanity not only survived but flourished among the stars. The Devourers might return one day, but when they did, they would find not a vulnerable, isolated species, but a galactic civilization ready to stand its ground. Humanity's story among the stars was just beginning, and Emma was determined to make it a tale worth telling. The Cosmic Tapestry. 20 years had passed since the Battle of Earth. The Sol System, once the entirety of humanity's domain, was now just the heart of a growing interstellar civilization. Dr. Emma Reeves, her hair now streaked with gray, stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, humanity's first diplomatic outpost in neutral space. Before her stretched a view that would have been unimaginable just 2 decades ago. Ships of various designs and origins glided past the station, some human, others belonging to the handful of alien species that humanity had formed alliances with since venturing beyond their solar system. A chime sounded, and Admiral John Takeda's hologram appeared beside her. Despite the years, his eyes still held the same determination they had during the Devourer War. "Emma," he greeted with a smile. "The Galactic Council is assembled. It's time." Emma nodded, taking a deep breath. "I never thought I'd see this day, John. Us, taking our place among the stars." As they made their way to the council chambers, Emma reflected on the journey that had brought them here. The years of rapid advancement, driven by the technologies salvaged from the Devourer conflict. The first contact with the Orcs, a peaceful race that had also suffered at the hands of the Devourers. The formation of the Mutual Defense Pact with other species who recognized the need for unity against cosmic threats. The council chamber was a marvel of alien architecture, designed to accommodate beings of vastly different physiologies. Emma took her seat at the circular table, surrounded by representatives from a dozen different species. The Orcs representative, a being of shimmering energy, spoke first. "We are gathered here today to discuss a matter of utmost importance. Our long-range sensors have detected a massive Devourer fleet, larger than any we've encountered before, approaching from the galactic core." A ripple of concern passed through the assembly. Emma exchanged a glance with John. This was the moment they had been preparing for all these years. Emma stood, her voice steady. "Fellow sentients, 20 years ago, humanity faced the Devourers alone. We survived, but at a terrible cost. Today, we stand united with you all, our strength multiplied by our bonds of friendship and common purpose." She waved her hand, and a holographic display of the Milky Way appeared above the table. "We've prepared for this day. The Quantum Defense Network is operational, linking our systems across vast distances. Our shipyards have been working at full capacity, and Project Phoenix, the multi-species evacuation protocol, is ready if needed." The Zeth-Kar representative, an insectoid being, clicked its mandibles. But would it be enough? The Devourers have had time to rebuild as well. Emma smiled, a glint of confidence in her eyes. "There's one more thing, something we kept secret until now." She nodded to John, who activated a secure channel. "ARIA," Emma called out. "Initiate Protocol Omega." The AI's voice resonated through the chamber. Protocol Omega initiated, activating the cosmic weave. Suddenly, the holographic galaxy above them came alive with countless points of light, all interconnected in a complex web. "This," Emma explained, "is the culmination of 2 decades of research and cooperation. A network of quantum entangled particles, spread across our territories. With this, we can coordinate our defenses instantly across vast distances, predict Devourer movements, and even disrupt their faster-than-light travel." The council chamber erupted in a mix of awe and hope. For the first time, they had a real chance against the cosmic predators that had terrorized the galaxy for eons. As the council debated strategies and finalized preparations, Emma found herself thinking of Sarah Chen and all those who had sacrificed everything to give humanity this chance. Their legacy lived on in every ship, every colony, every alliance forged among the stars. Hours later, as the council session concluded, Emma stood once more at the observation deck. The view of space had changed subtly, now alive with the invisible threads of the cosmic weave. John joined her, placing a hand on her shoulder. "You know," he said quietly, "I think Sarah would be proud of what we've accomplished." Emma nodded, her eyes fixed on the stars. "She showed us what humanity was capable of. Now we're showing the galaxy." As they watched, a fleet of ships from various allied species began to assemble around Harmony Station. It was an awe-inspiring sight, a testament to the unity they had forged in the face of a common threat. The coming battle would be unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. But this time, humanity wouldn't face it alone. They had friends, allies, a network spanning the stars. They had hope. Emma straightened, a determined smile on her face. "Well, John, shall we make history again?" Admiral Takeda nodded, his posture mirroring the resolve in Emma's eyes. "Let's show these Devourers what a united galaxy can do." As they turned to leave, Emma cast one last look at the starfield beyond. Somewhere out there, the Devourers were coming. But this time, humanity and its allies were ready. The cosmic tapestry they had woven together would not unravel easily. The next chapter of their interstellar saga was about to begin, and whatever the outcome, Emma knew that the spirit of human ingenuity, courage, and determination would live on among the stars. The legacy of Earth, of Sarah Chen, of all those who had brought them to this point, would shine bright in the annals of galactic history. Humanity had not just survived, they had thrived, and in doing so, had changed the very fabric of the cosmos. As Harmony Station prepared for the challenges ahead, a new era dawned. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, heralding the birth of a truly united galactic civilization. The future, vast and unknown, beckoned, and humanity, along with its allies, was ready to meet it head-on.